to basically say, I don't want to be gay no more. Because when you look at the society of the emasculation of the black community through film, television, and music, Lil Nas X, I bet you're a fan of him. I bet you he's a fan of Juicy Smollett. Now think about just Juicy Smollett hanging out with the Wade and the Smiths family. You see what I'm saying? And they ain't nothing like us. So when we dealing with the science of Willie Lynch, they say separate the big from the small, separate the old and the young, separate the light skin from the dark skin, separate the smart from the dumb. And then we have thousands of years, over 1,000 years of evidence of this stuff. And it's a clear indication that the only group of people that's fully functional, that have a moral compass and a higher calling because of Christ and the image of Christ and the identity of Christ, and which race is connected to, all the other races decide to get on the same team and go after us. Because Irish used to fight Germans. Germans used to fight Greeks. Look at the movie Gangs of New York. This is when whites were in opposition of each other. But one thing that they stand in solidarity to is white supremacy. And now that they have the Divine Nine with that, then we don't have an elite organization of those people. And we know without shadow of a doubt, they all know about the science of Willie Lynch. So now we know, so they can't do that anymore. So now we want a complete separation because we don't want to be torn in between this two-party system. And if you've been at the wheel for all these years, literally the black culture, black community has been driven to hell because it's advantageous financially for the culture vultures to basically just continue to make money and let the system operate fully functional on its own systematically to continue to suppress to genocidal proportions a community of God's people. And like I said, that calling is now. Now we have that opportunity. This is why Better Black America is who we are and what we're doing. Conservatives of America. We embrace conservatism, meaning God, man, woman, and child. Just a moral compass, because at least out of the Republicans and Democrats, the Republicans have a little more moral cognitive consciousness when it comes to religion and being believers. Now, if you look at the Democratic Party, now that's where you suspect that, because the Catholics and the Jews working together, we all know all of the dirty stuff that the Jewish archdiocese and have done. Look at Penn State with Jerry Sandusky. Look at these Catholic priests and these over $1 billion lawsuits with the Catholic Church. Think about it. Why would the Jewish community, liberal Jewish, connect with the Catholics? Because why? The Catholics, get their retainers from the Jewish community lawyers, the lawyers, and you have the Jewish scum lawyers. You have Jewish scum lords, meaning housing. The same thing that the white man was doing, the same thing that the oppressor was doing. So this is why we got to stand on the same squad, and that melanin in our skin connects us. So that gives us a global majority. But here in America, we have to raise the bar, because we see without a shadow of a doubt, Build Back Better is building back. And when they build back better, it's going to be law and order, and it's going to come from both Republicans and Democrats. And they're expecting us to vote and put a 21st century crime bill out there. Just like the 94 crime bill, when she said that these are super predators that need to be brought to heel. What she should have said, that these black men are superhuman, and we are, because the power we have. So all we got to do is harness it and be law-abiding citizens, and pretty much find a way to monetize it and create resources for the next community, for the next culture, I should say, or the next generation. So our call to action is to get behind a Better Black America, to get behind the black race, and support us and help us amend that 13th Amendment. And once we amend the 13th Amendment, then everything else will fall into place. But right now, as long as there's a legal document on the Constitution that says crime pays, then no matter what they say, they're going to turn the heat up and create bills, laws, and legislation that's going to not further, that's going to entrap us again. Entrapment is a thing. Emasculate is a thing. Emasculation is a thing. Women emasculate their men, and society has emasculated the black community because we know that the world will be shaking in their boots if the nuclear black family, was solid. It can and it will. But we're going to have to start mixing and matching. When I say this, women are going to have to come off the woodworks and men are going to have to come off the woodworks so we can actually have dynamic black families to replace these celebrity immoral families that they're putting in our face. And the black ignorant society, if you don't understand what I'm saying and what I mean, with blacks, we have a responsibility for the culture. Will and Jada Smith do not represent our culture. They represent liberalism. Okay. They either have they're sold their souls or they soul have a hole in it. Either or. The Wades and the Smiths and any other family that's out there. Because the Cosby Show was a image. And just because of that image back then, even though Bill was putting stuff in the sauce, but that image was beautiful. So he who controls the image controls the future. So we have to take control of our image and change the trajectory of the culture, because the imagery right now, if you look at television right now, we're the best and the worst, but the best get drowned out by the worst. Because when you turn the news on, you forget about we just got a Supreme Court justice from both Harvard campuses. You forget that because we see young boys in gym outfits, doing home invasion robberies, doing all these murdering and these killings and these shootings. And when they decide to do something about it, they're going to make a move. And they did it on March 29th, 2022, when they killed critical race theory by implementing H.R. 55, the Emmett Till Anti-Lynching Act that was signed into law March 29th of 2022. They added 30-year sentences to kidnapping, human trafficking, terrorist threats, and some others. So lynching had nothing to do with putting a rope around somebody's neck in this case. But for some strange reason, the Biden administration decided to call it the Emmett Till Anti-Lynching Act to basically cancel critical race theory, because critical race theory had some leeway until this historical monumental document, because we know Emmett Till was killed just because he was black. Lynching came from the name Willie Lynch, who created the science of Willie Lynch, was invited to the Americas in 1725 to pretty much teach the 13 colonies on how to make a slave. So critical race facts and critical race systems. And then we have the emasculation of the black family, which the Willie Lynch science is a pure emasculation of the black man in society as a culture for white supremacy to reign. And then we have these black ignorant families that's not talking about or trying to represent or being ambassadors for the black family. They're pretty much trying to show white liberals and white Hollywood producers that, hey, we're worthy of your Hollywood films because, look, we're letting we're pimping our son out here with little white boys. So now our son's having sex and all of this at 14 years old. So when he was 11, 12, and 13, it was acceptable as well. They're just showing us the pictures. So what is that saying? That's saying Hollywood, we want to be successful. So sold. Why do you have a lot of people, they would do a movie or two, or they would get the bag and then they'll disappear? Because they decided not to do this. Because understanding, selling your soul to be successful, if that's your goal, then we as a people need to understand that just because you was born in the same skin that we're born in doesn't mean you're down with us, because the people who write your check clearly don't love us, clearly take backroom meetings and make decisions Oh no, Will and Jada can't divorce. Let's do a green table. Oh, why don't we post the pictures of this pre-teenager, and show that he's sexually active. So now people who follow the Wave family, they're going to follow hook, line, and sinker. We are products of our environment. Because if he was a basketball player, his son, posting basketball pics, post a picture with a female, you would have people trying to emulate him. But they got this young boy pimping him out for the LGBTQ community where he's talking about love is love. And he's just a child. It's sick. And I wonder who broke his seal. And I'm telling you, white people are strange. Liberals are strange. I've never took a community bath with my mother and my father. Never took a bath with my mom in my life. But these cats are taking baths with their mothers, and these children are looking at their mother's titties and genitalia, and they're getting mute to it. They see their mama. So when they look at a woman, they basically feel that they're with their mother. So they want to get with a man, and that's sick. The science world knows this, but they will never come out because they have to emasculate the black family to survive. So clearly, today, the emasculation of the black family means survival of other cultures and creeds. So they're sacrificing us for their success. So this is why we have to raise the bar and show them who we are, impress them, and have them be in awe of who we are, just like they're in awe of the basketball players. You see how happy these jigs make white folk? How in awe, at the football games. In awe with the movies, in awe with the talent. And you have no clue how talented a lot of our unsuccessful people, the people you don't know, the talented people that you think is talented, they get their ideas, concepts, and influence from the hood and bring it to you. And you think that they're special, but they don't have the long game. This is why it's never sustainable. So thank you for tuning in. And this is our 25th episode. So we're going to keep this party going. A Better Black America, the #1 urban podcast, stateside and worldwide. Today is April 19, 2022. And we'll tap into you a little later. So go ahead and have fun. Go into just like I said, when you go to your gym, when you go work out, just throw it in. It's easy listening. It's all fact-based. And I'm going to have to just share where I get all my information and knowledge from. That information and knowledge clearly is over years of learning and understanding things. But my moral consciousness come from a higher power. And any and everything that I do and say and talk about is based on, my moral consciousness of the divine, the Holy Spirit. Okay, that's all it is. It's not flesh and blood. We don't wrestle against flesh and blood. Now, I might mention people, ignorant, dumb, stupid, okay, because there's a flip side to that. And I don't want to be drowned out by the ignorant people because that's what they do. That's what they do. They steal, kill, and destroy. And they don't want the bar to rise, but when they says we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against powers and principalities and evildoers in high places. So that's where the focus is, especially for me and what we're doing. Because if we understand the evildoers in high places or understand, the moves that they're making, then it's a chess game. It's not checkers. So there has to be somebody, something, or some group looking out for the entire party. And I wouldn't say party, but the entire team. So we're taking the mantle. And we just made a decision that we're going to ride for Black America because I'm Black and I'm proud. I truly am. And I understand that it's about love. So we will never be oppressors. We will never, hurt anybody. We just want to not be hurt and to get some respect and opportunity so the world could see who we are, because this is our moment in time. This is our moment in history. And we are going to create history because we about to steal third base and get home because we only got 2 books left to win this game of spades. And we got Big Joker and Little Joker. So with that being said, man, that's my time. Happy Tuesday to you. It's April 19, 2022. Until next time, this your man, Bushan Glover, a Better Black America.